One of the most exciting things when buying a new home is to envision all of the things that you can do or are going to do to make that home your own. Even when I'm showing property, we start talking about how you could do this or it would be so fun to do that. But not all investments give you the return or even the experience that you were looking for. And there are things that people have done that they end up regretting or looking back was maybe a bit short-sighted as far as the decision goes. So here's some more information or maybe just a different perspective to make sure you really think it through before you pull the trigger on that next remodel. Plus, I'll give you some home upgrade tips along the way. Let's get into it. Swimming pools. A swimming pool in the backyard might sound like the ultimate dream, especially around here in the summer. But consider all the factors. First, there's the cost. There's the initial installation, which will be like $40,000 at minimum, maybe likely closer to $60,000, and that's for something pretty basic. You have the ongoing expenses like cleaning, chemicals, and equipment maintenance. Things like filters, pumps, and heaters need regular attention. If they break down, repairs can be very costly. Plus, pools are going to raise your homeowner's insurance premiums, adding to that monthly expenses.
I told you.
When it comes to selling your home, many people believe a pool adds a lot of value. In reality, you'll likely only get about 60% of what you spent. It's a big investment, but the return isn't always what you think it is. And at the end of the day, not everyone is a pool person. Me, I'm anti-pool. Water is the greatest enemy of a home, and the last thing I want to do is add water to my property. Instead, consider moving to a neighborhood with a nice community pool. This way, if there are any issues, it's somebody else's problem. Drop it in the comments, are you pro-pool or anti-pool? Tip number 1, take care of the immediate needs first. Before you start thinking about aesthetic upgrades or bigger projects, make sure to address any immediate needs in your new home. You should have had a home inspection done. Perhaps the seller took care of all the repairs, but maybe there are still some things that need attention. These are the items you need to focus on first, because they can prevent bigger problems down the line. Once your home's essential systems are working properly and you've taken care of any safety concerns, then you can start thinking about making the place your own. Playground equipment.
It is playground time.
For families with young children, adding playground equipment to the backyard seems like a fun upgrade. Kids love the swings, the slides, the climbing sets, and it feels like a great way to get them outdoors and away from the screens. And it is. However, the excitement over playground equipment tends to have a very short lifespan. Sure, the first year or so it might be in constant use, but kids grow up fast and pretty soon they're no longer interested in the swing set, or they've even grown too tall for it. I've seen this firsthand with my neighbors. They put up a play set and for a while they were out there all the time. Their kids were on it, my kids were on it, but these days it just sits there and it's not used anymore. And what happens now? Most people don't have a plan for this stage and it turns into an unused structure taking up valuable backyard space. It's worth considering whether it's really a long-term benefit before making that investment. Tip number 2, find a trustworthy contractor. When it's time to hire a contractor for your home upgrades, you need to find someone you can trust, i.e. a contractor that someone has used and actually recommends. Start by asking friends, family, neighbors, your realtor for recommendations, someone who has firsthand experience with the contractor's work. Once you've found your contractor, you need to establish clear terms of payment. Never pay the full amount upfront. Instead, work out a payment plan that ties the final payment to the completion of the job. That might mean you pay half upfront and the rest upon completion. Or maybe you set up milestones along the way and there is payment after every milestone is completed. This ensures the contractor has incentive to finish the work and finish it well. Protect your investment. Freestanding bathtubs.
Yeah, there's probably one or two weirdos out there that took a bath.
Freestanding bathtubs are one of those upgrades that instantly make a bathroom look sleek and modern. When I'm out showing homes and I see one, I'm impressed. They get me every time. But let's be honest for a second. How often are you actually using it?
Beth, how much free time do you have on your hands?
Yeah, they look great, but unless you're someone who takes frequent baths, that tub is just a very expensive decorative art installment.
So I'll just sit in a pool of my own filth.
For a lot of homeowners, the reality is that the tub just sits there. Me, I just use mine to wash my feet if I've been outside barefoot.
I should probably take a shower after this bath, huh?
So while they may look amazing, think about whether that aesthetic value is worth the cost. You might find that a nice, larger glass enclosed shower gets you much more bang for your buck. Tip number 3, don't rush the big changes. When you move into a new home, it's tempting to start making big changes right away. However, it's crucial to take your time and get a feel for the house before diving into any major renovations. Live in the space for a few months and learn how it works for your daily routines. This will help you figure out what changes will actually improve your life and how the home's layout functions best for you. Rushing into big projects without understanding your needs or the flow of the home can lead to some really costly regrets. If you take it slow, you'll have a better sense of what needs to be adjusted and where and how to invest your money wisely. Patience is key when planning long-term home upgrades, ensuring that the changes you make will actually add value and functionality to your life. Think of it like a tattoo. If you still think you need it in 6 months, then start to have those conversations. Converting a garage into living space. Converting a garage into additional living space seems like a great way to add square footage without the massive cost of a home addition. On paper, it seems like a better option. An addition might cost 3 times as much, so converting the garage feels like a bargain. But here's the catch. Garage conversions often don't blend well with the existing layout of the home. More often than not, you'll find yourself walking through the kitchen to get to this new space, which can feel disjointed from the rest of the layout. And while, yeah, it's great having more living space, there's a trade-off. Now you don't have a garage. For many potential buyers, a garage is a must-have, whether for parking, storage, or a workshop. Having no garage is going to limit that pool of buyers when it's time to sell, and it will certainly not add the value you expect. It might even decrease the value.
Oh no!
So before making the leap, consider how the conversion will flow with the rest of the house and whether the trade-off is going to be worth it. Tip number 4, update the high traffic areas first. When you're ready to start making upgrades, focus on the high traffic areas first. These are the spaces you and your family use the most, like the kitchen, the living room, or the bathrooms. Updating these areas first will have the biggest impact on your daily life. The high traffic areas are also going to show wear and tear the fastest, so updating them early on can prevent bigger problems from developing. Plus, when it comes time to sell your home, buyers tend to focus on these rooms, meaning these are the upgrades where you will see actual profit from the investment. An exterior garage. Speaking of garages, building an extra exterior garage might seem like a practical way to add more storage or parking space. Maybe you have an extra car, maybe you need place for the boat, maybe an RV, maybe you need space for all of your kayaks, but this project can quickly spiral into a huge expense. First, you'll need to lay a new foundation, and depending on your property, that might involve grading or adding another driveway. Before you know it, what seemed like a small addition can easily become a $200,000 project. And here's the thing, no matter how nice your extra garage is, it will certainly not add $200,000 to your home's value. At most, you might see an increase of around $40,000 maybe, which doesn't come close to covering the cost. While it could be useful if you have a lot of vehicles or you need extra storage, it's important to consider whether that need justifies the expense. If you have a $700,000 home, instead of spending $200,000 on an extra garage, you'd probably be better off selling your home and buying a new home for $900,000 that already has one. Not only will you get the exterior garage, but the home will likely be an upgrade with more space, better finishes, and more land, or maybe all of the above. Tip number 5, do one area at a time. When it comes to home upgrades, trying to tackle everything at once can be overwhelming. Instead, focus on one area at a time. Pick the room that needs the most attention and finish that project before moving on to the next. This allows you to concentrate your energy and your budget on making that area perfect without spreading yourself too thin. Taking on too many projects at once can lead to poor results. If you do one area at a time, you can live comfortably in the rest of the house while the work is being done. If you try and do all the bathrooms at once, now you don't have any bathrooms to use for potentially weeks. Slow and steady wins the race. Open shelving in the kitchen. Open shelving in the kitchen has become very popular, especially on Pinterest and in home design magazines. It gives it a really modern, minimalistic look that can make the kitchen feel more open and very sophisticated.
Very demure, very mindful.
But while it looks amazing in staged photos, the reality of living with open shelves can be very different. First off, you lose a lot of the storage space. I mean, unlike cabinets, which can hide a lot of the clutter, open shelves put everything on display. So unless you're committed to keeping everything perfectly organized, it can quickly start to look messy. Another issue is just the practicality. Do you really want your dishes and cookware exposed to the dust and the kitchen grease all the time? And once you take those things down to use them, you have to arrange everything perfectly again for it to maintain that Instagram-worthy appearance. For most homeowners, traditional cabinets provide the storage and the functionality that they need without the constant maintenance that open shelving requires. So while it may be trendy, it might not be the most practical choice for everyday living. There you have it, 6 home upgrades that homeowners often regret, plus a few tips along the way. If you're thinking of buying or selling your home anywhere in the metro Atlanta area, my name is Joel. I'm a local realtor here. I would love to help you out. My information is below in the description, or you'll see it here at the bottom of the screen. Call, text, or email. I'm always happy just to answer questions or have a conversation. I'll see you in the next one.